here? What do you say right here, fellas? I think he knows just about every one of your names by now. All right? But I can get used to giving this guy game balls each and every Sunday. Proud of him. Josh Dobbs.
Stepping on the field and having the reps where you're not the first time throwing to the receivers and working with the O-line mid-game allowed it to be a lot more comfortable out there on the field. And so just to have the week of preparation to be able to get the offense under my belt, get the game plan under my belt was awesome. So we'll continue growing and improving. I'll continue to find ways to continue to grow in my role and be better, man, because, you know, with the playmakers we have, with the mindset that we have, with the guys stepping up, making plays, you know, I think we definitely have a lot of potential moving forward.
I'll tell you, Liv and Ashley Nicole Moss, I never thought I would say this about the Minnesota Vikings, but they are in this. They are in the race. And even though the Detroit Lions lead them by a couple of games in the NFC North, I'm not ready to concede the NFC North to the official team, a brother from another, the Detroit Lions, because Josh Dobbs has given the Vikings a chance. He has given them life. And I know they and Ashley, I know they didn't expect it. They didn't expect it. You know, trade deadline.
Yeah.
We're talking about other moves. We're talking about Chase Young to the 49ers. We're talking about Montez Sweat to the Bears and all these other moves. And it's just like a footnote. Oh, yeah, the Cardinals traded Josh Dobbs, 6th round pick, 7th round pick, whatever it is, and they're starting some dude named Toon. He lost his job to a dude named Toon in the desert, lost his job on the one-win Cardinals, and now the Vikings are actually in contention. I don't know what you make of the Josh Dobbs story, Ashley. I love it. What say you?
I mean, first of all, Josh, I'm president of the Josh Dobbs fan club. I'm one of the founding members. I actually met Josh Dobbs when he was coming out of Tennessee, and he's just like, it's so easy to root for him. He's such a nice guy. He's such a personable, humble guy. And I know that people may overlook things like that and they only care about wins and losses, but I think it makes it easier to root for somebody. And I feel like he's moved around so much in the NFL, and to have just such a grace about you and such an enthusiasm each time you go to a new team. And it's been a lot for him. It's just something to respect and to almost, you know, make you want to root for him. I think the talent is there. He's extremely intelligent. You know, he'll have a career that's far more lucrative waiting for him when football is over, whenever that may be. I mean, this guy is like, you know, aerodynamic smart, like it's insane. But I just think that he brings a charisma and an optimism and a lightness to a locker room that makes him an asset in any way, shape, or form. But I think that if we're talking about the ability to lead a football team, is he a franchise quarterback? Maybe not, but he's what I like to call a in-betweener. It's when you're closing one chapter and you're looking for that next 10-year guy. Josh Dobbs is a quarterback that you can win with. You may not win a Super Bowl with him, but you can win regular season games, and you may even be able to win a playoff game or two with him. So if we're talking about an in-betweener, I put him in the category of like a Geno Smith. Is Geno your guy for the Seahawks forever? No, but he's a guy that you can win with right now, and he's a guy the locker room responds to. And I put Josh Dobbs in that conversation. I would not be surprised going with everything going on with Kirk Cousins and all the question marks about, you know, him and the Minnesota Vikings moving forward. I would not be surprised to see this guy the leader of this team next season.
He's great. I love Josh Dobbs. Honestly, you brought up the fact that you know him, like you've met him. I haven't even met this guy, and from what I see from him, he seems exceptional. And you also mentioned not everybody cares about that part. They just care about wins and losses, but they should care, because to go mid-season to another team and to gain respect like this from your teammates, I think speaks a lot about the caliber of who you are as not just a quarterback, but as a leader. To be able to walk into something very new and fresh. I mean, you wouldn't be able to do that with just any quarterback and get instant results like this. So I think that speaks volumes of who he can be for this Vikings team. I think we're only just seeing the very surface level of what he's capable of, because again, you throw him in mid-season. It was a very quick change. The Vikings were kind of in this rut of everyone had given up. It's over. No one really had faith in them. And he has really kind of resurrected this Vikings team, which is an insane thing to be able to do mid-season with a team that you are just now finding your rhythm with. So I think it does speak volumes of who he is.
And he's so likable. Like, I remember the first time after, he didn't know any of those guys, the first time they won with him, and he's on the sidelines going through his cadence, with some of the offense, and he didn't even know these guys' name. And then the next week, you see him being directed to the Vikings locker room, didn't even know where he was going. That's how new he is in the situation. And then
so sweet.
After the game, the video of him walking into that locker room and the whole locker room cheering him on, and you have head coach Kevin in there, also just like uplifting him. He just seems so happy and ecstatic to be there and to produce a win for this team, and given the opportunity once again to show that he can do it. It's so hard to root against someone who comes across just so pure and just so happy to be in this position. No matter how many times he's been in it, he goes into each situation just as optimistic, just as almost naive in a sense of just like, whatever happened before, I'm just happy to be here. And I don't know, sometimes, the NFL and sports in general can be so like cynical and rigid. It makes you happy to see a guy like that. I root for him.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it's a great point, Ashley, about the cynicism in the league, the rigidness, that sometimes happens, especially in the front office, with the front office and coaching staffs, because and I'm not sure Josh Dobbs is going to fit into this category, but work with me on this one. Sometimes when you get a job as a general manager or a head coach, you have your vision of what's supposed to happen. You go into a team and you say, hey, they don't have what I want to execute my vision. So even if something is working, I didn't envision that it would work like this, so I'm going to move on. So I'll give you a couple examples. I already mentioned the Detroit Lions. They're 7-2. Who's their quarterback? Jared Goff. Jared Goff was supposed to be, he was just supposed to be a placeholder. There's no way they thought when they started winning games that Jared Goff would be the quarterback. He was just a throw-in. He was a throw-in. Hey, the Rams want Matthew Stafford. They want to get rid of Jared Goff. You're the Lions. You can handle it. Take this guy. You're going to lose a bunch of games anyway. And when you get your real quarterback, you'll be happy. And then they went, wait a minute, hold on a second. We can roll with Jared Goff a little bit. I mean, like, wait a minute, why are we looking elsewhere? The Vikings used to have a situation like this. You talk about Kirk Cousins? Who was the predecessor to Kirk Cousins? It was Case Keenum. Minnesota Miracle, Case Keenum was the quarterback throwing to Stephon Diggs. But they thought they could do better than Case Keenum. Oh, we got to we won a playoff game, but Kirk Cousins is going to give us an upgrade. And that upgrade, he's been fine, but he hasn't really been a noticeable upgrade over Case Keenum. Geno Smith, you already mentioned him. And maybe Josh Dobbs, I don't know. I don't know if Josh Dobbs can fulfill, if he can follow those footsteps and be a guy who can win 10 games as your everyday starter, or is he somebody who comes in, he's good for the culture, he's good to have on board. Maybe he's like a career backup. Or who knows? Who knows?
I really truly believe that he is a in-between quarterback. I think that you could win with Josh Dobbs. Now, if you're talking Super Bowl, do I think he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback right now in this moment in time? No. But I think that if you look at what he's been able to do, I mean, this is a guy who got to this Vikings team less than 2.5 weeks ago, and he already has 2 wins under his belt. There's a natural ability there. There's a quick understanding of the game there. Yeah, he's not perfect. There are things he could do better, but we're also talking about someone who is joining a team week 10, week 11 of the season. Just envision him with a full season of training camp, off season, OTAs. I mean, I truly believe the potential is there for him to lead this Vikings team, even after this season, to a level of success. You get Justin Jefferson back at some point. He's been able to win in spite of Justin Jefferson not being there. He's been able to win in spite of offense mistakes. And again, we're only talking about 2 wins, but just think about the bigger picture. If he gets a full training camp OTA experience, and again, the Vikings have a lot of good pieces. You just need a quarterback who can go ahead and utilize them. He's more athletic than Kirk Cousins. You know, you'll see him run. You'll see him do a lot of the things that Kirk Cousins won't do at this stage in the game. And also, you got to remember, Kirk Cousins is going to be coming off of a Achilles injury, and not everybody's Aaron Rodgers. Right. And, you know, at the end of the day, Kirk Cousins is not a spring chicken. So Achilles injuries can change and will probably change how he plays the game. We've seen quarterbacks do it all the time. Look at Dak. Like, love Dak Prescott, my QB. But after Dak fractured his ankle, you saw his game change. He wasn't as willing to run. His mind goes, when I ran last time, this is what happened. Let me try not to do that. And it's almost frustrating because you know he can, but injuries change how you play the game. So Josh Dobbs, I feel like, would be a great fit for this team. I'm here for it.
It feels like a rebrand. Like, I love Kirk a lot. I really do. I love Kirk. I think that he's an exceptional quarterback, and I think he's got really great moments. And he proved to be one of the clutchest quarterbacks. If you look at statistics in the final few minutes or second half of games, he was him. And I love Kirk, but this just feels like a little bit of a refresh. Like, it's like a rebrand for this Vikings team, because I felt like they had the pieces. They were still winning games, but they were kind of hitting a plateau. And it feels like Vikings football is exciting again. And I feel like it has everything to do with Josh Dobbs, which is awesome.
Well, speaking of refresh and a refresh and a rebrand, when you have a rebrand, you tell a different story. So, you know, a narrative may be going in one direction, but you do something on the field that forces people to change the narrative. And maybe your quarterback, Ashley, Dak Prescott, has done that the past couple of weeks. I'm starting to hear people give him some flowers, give him some love. I know
funny how that works, Giants, huh?
I know it was against the Giants, but look, Dak Prescott has looked really good these last few weeks. And Ashley, I'll ask you, do you think he has unlocked something, or do you think the opponent is propping him up to make him look better than he actually is? What your thoughts? I'm just gonna throw it out there.
No, I don't think the opponent's making him look better than he actually is. But obviously, you know, when you have easy games, it makes you have a little bit more pep in your step, right? It makes you a little bit more of a believer of what your own capabilities are. So I don't think that I think Dak is a great quarterback. So it's not like the competition or lack thereof is making him better. I just think that he's a great quarterback. He's a top 10 quarterback. That would make you a great quarterback right now in the NFL. Top 10, Dak Prescott, absolutely.
No, top 10 doesn't make you great. Top 10 doesn't make you great. You saw the glasses come on.
Out of 30, if we're talking 32 NFL teams, 30 NFL teams, if you're top 10, you're great. Does it not?
No.
What does it make you?
No, it makes you very good. He's very good. He's very good. He's not great.
Okay,
come on now.
We can play semantics, I guess.
Holley, who would you consider? Name the great quarterbacks in the league right now. Go ahead.
Not many of them. And I got
give me a list.
I got to push. One guy has moved out, has been pushed down out of the category. Josh Allen, I can't call it. He used to be, beginning of the season, I had Josh Allen is great. Good, very good. Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback.
Okay.
Joe Burrow is a great quarterback. CJ Stroud is a great quarterback.
I'm not doing this with you.
I do love CJ Stroud.
Me too, but I'm not. Me too. But
Jalen Hurts is right there. There's like a little passageway between very good and great, and he's like turned sideways. He's trying to get in there.
Okay, so great,
right.
very
so
good.
Small.
Whatever label you want to put on him, Holley, that's up to you. All I'm saying is the competition hasn't made him a better quarterback. He's always been this quarterback. I just think that it enlightens and it heightens his already existing skill set, and it helps you get into a rhythm. It helps you get into a stride. It helps you get into a movement. You got a little bit more pep in your step when you walk into the locker room. You got a little more pep in your step when you approach Sunday for game day. And I think that all it does is continue a trajectory that you want your quarterback and your offense and your team to be on week 10, week 11. This is what you want. This is when football really starts bridging the gap between teams that you're going to see in the playoffs, you're going to see make runs in the playoffs, and the teams that won't. So this is the Dak Prescott, this is the Dallas Cowboys that you wanted to see this time this year, especially when you're neck and neck going at it, trading week to week with the Philadelphia Eagles, who have a really tough schedule ahead of him. This is what you want. So whatever people want to give credit or not give credit where credit's due, I personally don't care. Dak's winning, the Cowboys winning, he's happy, CeeDee's happy, that means I'm happy. That's all I care about.
Here's the only thing I'm going to play devil's advocate on, because I really do like Dak Prescott, and I have said right here on this show before that we need to keep the same tone of voice with guys like Josh Allen that we do for Dak Prescott when there's turnovers happening, when the offense isn't gelling. And so I have had Dak Prescott's back this year, despite what many people think about me being a Cowboys hater. I do really like Dak Prescott as a quarterback, and I do think that he has entered great conversations in terms of being a great quarterback before. Here's the only place that I struggle as a non-Cowboys fan that I think a lot of people share this sentiment. We see him have great weeks against the Giants, against the Patriots, against teams that he should be great against because they're not great teams. Now, here's where I just tread lightly is, okay, as the schedule gets more difficult, as the pressure continues, as he faces better defenses, I want him to stay where he's at. I want them to keep winning. I want him. But when there's that back and forth, which I think Ashley is not a naive Cowboys fan, she knows this to be true. There is some inconsistencies there that I think make it hard for people to go, all right, yep, he's him, because we have really great moments with Dak. Now, a lot of his interceptions thrown and things are not his fault a lot of the time if you really watch the games. However, when the offense works, the quarterback is the hero. When it fails, they're the villain. And so I think because of the inconsistencies that lie within the offense as a whole at times, that's where people struggle to fully push him into the great conversation. Now, it is hard because he is great, I think, and he has a lot of really great moments, and he wins convincingly in the games that he should. Josh Allen can't say the same. The games that he should win convincingly, he's not. So I do put Dak Prescott higher than I think a lot of other people do, but I think it's the inconsistencies that I think at times make people go, dang it, I'm right there, but I'm just not there yet. I agree completely. So
I agree completely. Listen, it's great. You're supposed to beat up on the Giants. They pulled their quarterback out of his parents' basement in New Jersey. Like you're supposed to beat up on him. That's what you're supposed to do. So I'm not too high off a win like that. I will say, listen, Dak had a great game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, there's no moral victories in football. The Cowboys still lost that game. I think that when they reface the Eagles in 2.5, 3 weeks, what the outcome of that is, you have to go ahead and then gauge that. If it's a success for the Dallas Cowboys on the back of Dak Prescott, then this team, he's the real deal. This team is the real deal, and they're prime and ready to go. If it's another loss, especially being at home, especially them being in a close game the last time around, then, the questions will arise once again. I agree. You don't get this exceptional amount of credit for beating the Giants. It's nice because we hate them, but it doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? Tommy DeVito is their quarterback. Like, where did he come from? That doesn't mean anything to me. It's a win. A win is a win, and I need it, but I don't get too high on it.
There's tiers to real deal too. And I think that's where it gets really dicey when talking about quarterbacks in this league, because it's like regular season games, real deal. Playoff games, that's like a whole nother tier of real deal. And I think that right there is the missing piece for people to just be fully in on Dak Prescott is, listen, I think Cowboys fans know it better than anybody else. It's time to win a damn Super Bowl. Let's quit effing around. It's time to win a damn Super Bowl. So again, there's tiers to the real deal stuff. There is
watch out, Michael. I don't like the disrespect. Okay, fix the tone in your voice.
He tried to be sly with that. He tried to slide that in there.
Fix the tone in your voice, Michael.
You agree with me? No, but you agree though. You agree with me. You agree with me. Why are we talking about the tone?
Oh,
You agree with what I said?
Take the bass out your voice when you say that. Okay.
If I just wrote on the screen, hey Ashley, it's time for the Cowboys to get to a Super Bowl, you would agree? You say yes, I agree.
It
if
was
I
your
sent
tone,
you a text
your
message,
delivery. Your delivery.
if I say that in a
The
text
delivery, the
message,
tone, the bass in your voice.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
appreciate it. I don't like it.
okay, but you know what I don't appreciate? I'll tell you what I don't appreciate about you, Ashley. That I had to talk you into wearing a Dak Prescott jersey that you said you would wear. You said, I thought you were a woman of your word. You said, I had to talk you into it.
She said it didn't go with her outfit. She said it didn't go with her outfit, which is why she didn't initially put it on.
We ain't worried about that. We ain't worried about
Well,
but I put it on the show. I literally put it on the show. It didn't go with my fit, but I did it.
Your word is greater than the fit. Well, what will people remember more?
Real
your
question.
word or your fit?
You're worried about my jersey. How your Patriots doing? You want to talk about that? Let's talk about that.
I'll tell you. Listen, I'm gonna give you. Put the music on.
Okay.
Because Ashley's got the final word. Final word. They stink. Now, unfortunately for them, the last time they were in the Super Bowl was 2018.
Oh,
what were the Cowboys doing in 2000?
There we go. There we go.
What were y'all doing? Hey, what were the Cowboys doing in 2018?
Probably getting screwed by the refs. Wasn't that was the Dez catch year, wasn't it?
How about 2008? How about 1990? Like, it's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Hey, we ran the 90s. Don't come at me crazy.
Okay.
We ran the 90s.
Okay, there it is.
Let me break this up with a little Go Broncos. How about that?
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.